Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. And you too can pick up the telephone, 4420175, and introduce any topic. We stop in the middle of a sentence to take what you have to say. We always give our callers more prominence. We want the discussion, and we don't mind being challenged. If we are saying something that is not the truth, you could challenge us. If we express our opinion, but you believe you have information that is critical, we will change our opinion. This country have a good working democracy. From 1983, post-1983, no side have seriously challenged the democratic system. And all leaders who lost election concede defeat within 24 hours. The democratic system is working, it is free, and it is fair. While I wait your call, I have 3 questions that I'll put. And I'm asking members of the National Democratic Congress, political activists, politicos of the NDC, are you concerned that there are mounting evidence and growing rumors that there is a third party directing our foreign policy in Grenada? After all, with 50 years of independence, so it ought to be of concern to all and sundry if the government of Grenada is not directing our foreign policy. Are you concerned that the Grenada government seems to be more interested in the present site of the General Hospital than improving the health system? Are you concerned? And do you support the sale of Green Lake? Remember, the first person that raised that as a possibility was the previous opposition leader in Parliament. He thought that the NDC government would sell Green Lake. We are hearing issues. We are hearing about inefficiencies, as if the government of Grenada is preparing the groundwork to have justification for the sale of Green Lake. Are you concerned? All of these things contribute to our belief that somebody sent Deacon Mitchell, that he is not operating in the interests of Grenadians, but he is operating on the interests of a third party. So this morning, we want to hear from political activists of the NDC. Cultureman, you could pick up the phone and call us. Are you concerned? What you have to say about that culture? These issues must be discussed. Sometimes we continue to believe that foreigners are preventing us from going forward. The fact that we were once slaves. We believe that these things are preventing us, but I have my serious doubts. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yesterday, a man called you and tell you about corn plant he have. And I didn't get his number. I don't know if you have it, so if you could give it to us, please.
Yes, I'm going to give you his number again.
Yes, well, thank you very much.
Is it corn plant or grind corn? Well, anyway, when you call him, you'll get the information. He called about corn, so I'll try to give you his number. I'll have to look for it a bit, but as soon as I get it, I'll give you.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So the question is, are you concerned? As Grenadians, are you concerned that it appears, that it seems that there is a third party dictating our foreign policy? Now, how can't we continue to say we are independent if it is a fact that there is a third party dictating our independence? And that number is 449-1812. 449-1812. That's the individual who have the con, and you can make contact with him. You see, we sometimes believe that somebody is preventing us from succeeding. A lot of the Marxist, Leninist remnants of our country would like to argue that the United States of America preventing us, or the British preventing us. Those right-wing individuals would like to advance the view that China or Russia is the one thwarting our path. But I generally believe we are the ones that is selling us out. We are the ones that preventing us from going forward. We had independence for 50 years. And it means that we are in a position to determine what our foreign policy is. Well, we must be mindful of the power play between the imperial giants. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Good day. So, how things?
Great, man.
Yeah, I thought people tell the Prime Minister that, look, he's doing well. Although he's doing a lot of wrong things. Supporters are feeling encouraged because more, he don't take correction because every time you do something bad, supporters say, continue to do what you're doing well. They take a contract from a guy from St. David. The guy died after us. Supporters see saying, continue to do what you're doing. You're doing well. I was talking to a Imani yesterday. I said, since last year, they put them on hold. Tell them, well, when they get placement, they will call them. So I asked her if they give them pay. He said, no. So he said, a group of them, they don't get. So a lot of Imani go married, and a lot of people don't know what's going on there. But I identify two by my side. So every time I asked, I said, so no, I look at all it. He said, no. I said, so they'll pay always say, no, you don't get them pay. So that trick they work on these people on them. So take care, Mr. Pierre. Have a good day.
Yes, the government have a policy of restorative justice. And that is tantamount to political vengeance. And even we are Christians, they say vengeance is mine. So you don't encourage vengeance. When the good book said turn the other cheek, they don't mean that you should put your face for them to box you. It means you must not practice vengeance. When they say pray for your enemies, love your enemies, what it means, you mustn't treat your enemies the way your enemy treat you. But Deacon Mitchell and this NDC group is establishing a policy of vengeance in this country. It is extremely sad and unfortunate. The real result of this policy you would see in years to come. It would give rise to more political hate. It would give rise to more domestic and street crimes. The idea, if you kill me dog, I go kill your cat. That when I'm in political power, you must not eat. This is the Dickens policy. They establish a policy of restorative justice. And they set up a ministry for political mischief. There is no justification for mobilization in the ministry of MIT. No justification. Normally, communist countries and countries with one-party state introduce mobilization like propaganda. They set up a number of people to monitor counter-revolutionaries. I think it was Selwyn Strawn, I believe, that was in charge of mobilization and propaganda during the revolution, identifying who are the people who are counters. They felt that they had a good support in the schools. So the schools where they were not satisfied with the principal inclination, they would send teachers to undermine the principals. Where there was areas where they had people acting as principals, even though they were very senior, they would send teachers that was involved in mass organization and mass group. In this very said village where Maurice Bishop came and told the people to plant weed, that very village, when they came to organize women organization, and nobody turned out. Nobody turned out. They had an encounter with a woman in a shop next door, and they thought she was rude to them. So they called the Pierre, and she spent 2 weeks in the police station. They put her in this police station for 2 weeks. She didn't reach town. Maurice Bishop did not sign a detention order because she was nursing a little baby. And her spouse used to bring the baby in the police station twice a day for her to nurse. I guess he was doing everything to evoke the compassion, the sympathy, and hope they could empathize. They take 2 weeks before she was released. When Dick Mitchell introduced mobilization in MIT, the role of that is for political mischief. Obviously, people will not be arrested and sent to jail, but people will lose their jobs. They wouldn't give scholarships to some people. Some people would not get promotion. People are going to lose their contracts. Some people with government land would get disappeared. So that is the ministry responsible for it. Some Imanis will be cast away. And some of them will remain quiet because they're hoping and pray they get placement. But placement is not coming. You see what they did to the workers in Granba's estate? 31 workers lost their job. Based upon my own research and information, 19 of them supported the National Democratic Congress. I'm hearing, I'm not certain, that they re-employed 20. It's too close for coincidence. So that is the government we have on the table. They are turning back the hand of the clock. And while they are doing it, I'm absolutely certain that some of the political activists, some strong NDC members, in years to come, over tomorrow, they will regret maybe they will regret when they realize they have been tricked. They've been deceived. And a third party was dictating the actions of Deacon. That's why I ask repeatedly, who sent him? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, scholar.
Mr. Pierre, you get time also to listen. Miss Kate Lewis.
No, I didn't hear.
Mr. Pierre, this lady gives account of herself, and I tell you congratulations to Miss Kate Lewis Peters. Miss Lady, thank God, they want it with Dr. Mitchell. When you get people, and he's getting a lot of good people to put in his house. He doesn't say, he doesn't pick up no old people and put inside the house. He gets good people and he put in his house. And this lady give account for herself. But he had out to color. And they tell themselves they want to keep her down. But Miss Pierre, no, Miss Louis, you have your head high. You head high. The shame. They do that sort of wickedness, and when you hit them the nail on the head, they doesn't like that. I cannot believe it could have people seeing this prime minister doing this wickedness on them and side with him and tell him he's doing right. And anytime he says that he do what he's doing, and his supporter tell him he's doing something good, he follow them. But they put Grenada right down in a hole. I start to dig in the hole, going way down, Mr. Pierre. And I don't believe anybody that come here could push up that hole where that country is. Mr. Pierre, these people and them tell themselves Grenada is only for one set of people. Now what when I know Grenada is only for one set of people. I don't see Grenada is for everybody inside that country here. Because I see the wickedness, and I could have never believed Dr. Mitchell could have doing this Grenada here, and I am an LMP and supporting what's going on here. No way you will not see me to do that, Mr. Pierre. But these people and them, if the man say go, they're saying yes. If he said kill, they're saying yes. Mr. Pierre, time for the people and them to go. And I can't sing that song. Time for them to go. They don't need to sit down in Grenada here again. They need to go. They're doing too much of wickedness. The whole of Grenada in debt. And they did. I listen, Miss Mia Markley boasting herself with the cricket, and nobody cannot do nothing in Grenada here unless people are them doing this thing. This man doing this thing, and nobody don't say nothing. Mr. Pierre, enjoy the rest of this.
Well, it's not fair to say nobody saying anything because we sing. I think a lot of supporters of the NNP, they have listened to the NDC so much that they believe the NDC propaganda machine must continue. When the NDC is silent, it means that they have nothing to say. So perhaps you have to start listening to the voices that's speaking. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. And how are you?
Hello, I'm not hearing you.
Hello, Mr. Pierre, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah, well, you have to raise that voice.
Okay, I'm saying...
It's a regular caller, you have to.
Yeah, I say good afternoon.
Yeah,
Right.
good afternoon.
Right, and how are you?
Great, man.
Right. Mr. Pierre, the lady I just spoke, she beat me to it. I was about to say almost the same thing that the lady said, but unfortunately I was doing something. Miss Lewis was on the air this morning, and undoubtedly she gave a good account of herself. She was challenged by two persons, but she mixed them up. She minced them like meat with what they was trying to say. This lady is not just speaking. She practiced. She knew. She was a lover of children and youth from her youth days up. She taught for 17 years in a high institute. and she was among young people for over 20 odd years before she gets into serious politics. So she's aware, and she was able to answer every question that was thrown to her in the right way. And not just answering, but giving facts and reasons. Giving facts and reasons. She did well. And I knew that she could do well because I remember when she just...
You going down again?
Huh?
You have to keep up.
I remember when she just gets into politics, I said that if she doesn't get swell-headed, she's going to make a very good politician. And she have made it.
She nursed some political milk to you.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about it.
Well, I know, I'm telling you, she nursed the political milk.
I could tell you, she is not a fool in the cabinet, in the parliament. She's not a fool on the radio. She's not a fool anyway. No person will believe that they will just stand pull her with statements. She have her facts.
So going up and going down.
Right. The second thing is, I saw the union representative, at least two different union representatives, making a plea to government. One is talking about workers and somebody for representing, and the Prime Minister is dragging his foot on it. That's Mr. Lewis.
You have to keep that phone near to your mouth.
That's Mr. Lewis. The other one is with the Public Workers Union. And I had that same thought too. This new program that the Prime Minister wants to bring, which will be a new pension scheme for contract workers, I see that as a means of a pressure on workers, because it means that you still have to pay your NIS and still pay whatever deduction for you to be in that new pension scheme. I hope the unions are not just playing a game around it again and is looking...
The unions don't represent these people.
No.
The unions don't represent contract workers.
No, but they can speak for workers.
But they have not been doing that. They have not been doing... Right, but they have not been speaking for the people that they represent.
That's why I say I hope they will. Because it is a very serious thing at this time to have a next...
Caller, you have to speak out for that.
Well, I have done that. That's what I'm doing.
You have to stop asking. The union don't care about that.
That's what I'm doing now. I am saying that based on my understanding and I see it, I cannot see any more burden. For instance, let's look at it. An ordinary worker work for 30 years somewhere and he gets an NIS pension. And let's say he was working as an ordinary laborer. The most he could go home with is $300-$500. Right? So to put any pressure on anybody who will begin a contract of $500 or $5,000.
This contract, this pension scheme the Prime Minister talking about is a waste of time that will fail. It cannot succeed. It's going to fail. Because if you have a pension scheme independently for contract workers, it's doomed to fail. You go bust.
That is why
they won't have money to pay these people when these people reach.
That is why, Mr. Pierre, I'm speaking out now because I cannot see it making progress, because it means that government will having to put money into a next fountain and hope in a next fountain. So that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it will be a cost on the average man.
Okay.
To pay a next pension at this time. So I'm hoping that the unions use the correct head.
All right.
Okay.
People have to understand that the workers that the Prime Minister is speaking about is not represented by unions. They are contract workers. And this bag of silliness that the Prime Minister speaking cannot work. It would not work. If NIS have to raise the contribution and raise the age at which you get pension to survive, how a smaller group of workers on contract that do not have any possibility of permanency how that could make sense. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, my brother.
Oh, hopeful. Right. There's an issue I want to bring up this evening. For the reason that I notice, and like everybody would have, every time the Prime Minister leaves nowadays, he puts Mr. Andy Williams as acting Prime Minister. And in the context and in the light of talks that have been going around, where there is fraction and disunity to an extent in the cabinet, it's something I've anticipated, like I pointed out yesterday, and I've said before too. In due time, it will show up because of the attitude of the Prime Minister. I become convinced to quite an extent that Andy is always chosen nowadays. Remember that he chose Cornwall, Dennis Cornwall, in the earlies. He chose him at one time, I think, or twice. But he traveled so much that I can't remember how much time. But I know he chose Cornwall at one time to act in his absence. He nowadays only choose Andy if you notice it, or if people notice. And I've come to a conclusion. Because Andy is such a type of person that would go along with anything the Prime Minister wants and says, he has been chosen. There's a language or there's a word we use, simple, to describe people sometimes. And a lot of times it is understood or it is interpreted to be that person is a humble, simple, quiet, easygoing person that is non-controversial to quite an extent. It is normal that people who are simple, they're not fussy. That's how people interpret them. But there's another aspect of simplicity that people need to understand. And it relates to being naive and uninitiated. And honest to anybody, if you have to describe Andy as simple, he fits into the second category of simplicity that I just described or explained. And given that that's the characteristics of Andy, the Prime Minister, I believe, is confident that that's one person who would not stab him in his back. Not that Andy is so capable. That's a fact. But I understand that given the situation, the dynamics around him, he would trust Andy more than any other. And people need to understand that this is why Andy is normally pushed in front nowadays. Not that he's capable. And whenever he speaks, and I notice it, other people notice it, he makes a whole set of blunder. He's my good friend in a sense of the word. And he's a guy I like. But the guy doesn't understand, and he creates more problem for the Prime Minister and the country when he speaks on issues when the Prime Minister is out of the country. It is well noted. Another subject matter. Yesterday I brought up the issue, and that's something we spoke about over and over, of the teaching hospital being put, even the estate or whatever is being bought already, as far as I understand it, because some $22 million was spent or something like that for the land, the acquisition of the land. And I commented on another program this morning about that issue, that's not the best place to be put in that hospital. Not that I have a problem with the hospital in itself, but that's not the best place. A caller who apparently does listen to me and you dealing with that subject matter on your station called to point out that I accustomed talking about that subject matter and you never corrected me on the issue. And I'm trying to understand what is there to be corrected about that issue.
The truth need no correction. When you speak in the truth, you don't have to correct nothing.
But as far as the caller has been saying, is that we've been making a big mistake about that. But listen what he tried to do to explain that we're wrong. That the Prime Minister, the government actually said, he used the word government, explain that they don't want pig pen. And I yet to understand, he said it in something about we need to understand the whole thing in context. You don't know no explanation beyond that. We need to understand it in context. And the government explained that they don't want pig pen to be built in the area. I don't understand how that become an issue. It went so far to justify that the project should be built there. To talk about the Mount Hartman, because I compare that area there with the Chambord area, that these places are breadbasket for Grenada. And in the given context, the given situation where we have food security as a big issue nowadays, our import bill is so high, we should do as much to grow our own and eat what we grow as possible. He compared the whole issue with the Mount Hartman situation, where the land was given to build a hotel, and a lot of farmers were disenfranchised in the situation, and so on. Now, fine. The Mount Hartman situation was an ugly situation, but there are comparisons that could be made there. I'm not justifying the Mount Hartman issue here, no. But if you're going to build a hotel, you're going to take a $1 billion hotel and build it in the center of Grenada. You're going to take a $1 billion hotel and build it in an area like close to the sea. You can extend the land of Grenada by dumping into the sea and do building on it. If Tortola, for example, was originally 25 square miles, it is now 30 square miles or 32 square miles or 35 square miles, and it is because of dumping in the sea and building. Tortola has been extended. Almost the whole of the tongue of Tortola, the road tongue, is dump land. If you're going to build a hotel, you don't take a $1 billion hotel and build it in the mountain or in the center of Grenada.
That depends on your landmass. You're Guyana, you have country that don't have sea, the interlock. So a hotel could be built.
It depends on the place you're talking about. In Grenada situation, you cannot go build it in the center of Grenada. And we don't have much landmass. That's part of it. This is why I'm using the word you can extend into the sea. A hotel. So this kind of comparison that people are making and trying to understand the situation, not because you support a party, and I know the guy, he supported the NDC amazingly. Not because you support a party, you're supposed to be so narrow-minded, and he's trying to say that we are narrow-minded about this issue, And that's the funny thing about this kind of thing. And you see that kind of distorted reasoning? This is very much perpetuated nowadays and justified in this country. And we are in serious trouble. I keep saying, we're in serious trouble,
Yeah.
Take care, sir.
Yes, I believe we are in serious trouble. And that is why I constantly ask the question, are you concerned that there are mounting evidence and growing rumors that there is a third party directing our foreign policy? The Prime Minister of Grenada and the Foreign Minister is not in charge of our foreign policy. Are you concerned? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. Second caller, we just don't talk there because there's strong land that in Calvin Estate and close to the river, so they cannot put a hotel there. They must put it close by the sea, where it will not affect anybody because it's going to affect the area. I know where the land is in Calvin.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yes, the number to call is 442-0175. And the number for the con is 449-1812. And you can give us a call. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning, afternoon.
Yes, go right ahead.
I want to say
You have to
something.
speak up first. We're not hearing you.
Yes. You hearing me now?
That better.
No, I just want to say something. First time I call in,
Yes, so keep the phone near to your mouth.
Yes, I put in the phone to my mouth.
Beautiful, that's good.
Right. No, I want the government here to do something about the buses. Oh God, Mr. Pierre, we're getting real stressed for them buses. Imagine at 8 o'clock in the night, we cannot get bus to go home. I remember when Mr. Keith Mitchell used to want to bring in the buses. Them same busmen cried on the man. And they say you kill them, but no one needing buses to go home at least after 8. We can't get for granites, we can't get for no way. So I want the government here right now, please, to get some buses for us, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, I think one of the challenge we have in Grenada, we have a lot of vehicles, but we don't have private vehicles pulling bull. This is a good opportunity for people with private vehicles to run after it. This is a glorious opportunity for private vehicle to pull bull. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
I know I'm seeking your permission. I know if it's accepted.
Caller, your voice a little too low. Punch.
Yeah. No, I want to give us some information.
Don't ask permission, just punch.
With a meeting, right?
Go ahead, caller.
The parliamentary rep, Honorable Parliamentary Rep Dr. Keith Mitchell, and former Prime Minister will be having a meeting at the Hartfield Secondary School on June the 26th. That's next week Wednesday. The meeting will start at 6 p.m. Everyone, St. John Northwest, are invited to come out to the meeting to hear what Dr. Mitchell and other speakers have to say about the situation in our country. Because right now, what's going on in our country is very unpleasant, especially to the poor people. So we ask them to come out and to get the real information, true information of the situation with this government and how they're treating the poor people of the country. So Wednesday, the 26th of June, come out to get information from the commission and other speakers that will be there at the meeting.
Yes,
and Mr. Pierre, I remember the Prime Minister said that the people that don't have bathroom and toilet that connected to the home, they will not get. We are in hurricane season, Mr. Pierre, and it is not easy. Someone that work hard to live and to shape the country. Yes, at the time they could not say much, and they have a toilet outside. And when, as we are in season now, and that hold them and they have to go outside in that bad weather.
Caller, you forget that the NDC have a hostile policy against people in low income group. Because you see, this is a fact. If that is a policy, what happens is that people were not educated on the policy of the NDC.
The policy, I know.
The NDC is not for the ordinary man.
But everyone was going to get old.
Well, it's not a question whether you get old or young. We select a government that is against our policy.
Against our policy. Yeah.
And this is what the public have to be educated. No matter how nice NDC have. NDC have a track record of having a hostile policy against low-income groups.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that a few low-income will benefit you. But the policy is against low-income group. So people in the lower income, you go and select NDC, and then you complaining now that they remove the houses that was provided for you. They take it away from you. Well, you selected a government that have a hostile policy against you. If your income is under $3,000 a month, NDC is not a good government for you. It doesn't mean that some people wouldn't benefit you. A few. Maybe their cousin, their aunt, a good supporter. But the policy generally is aggressive. It's hostile against people in the lower income group. And if you want to challenge me, before you take me on, go and see what happened in 1990. They fired the people in the estates. And when they was doing it, some private estate used the opportunity to get rid of workers. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, and brother, just a while. You have to keep your voice, either your mouth close to the phone, because it does be falling down and up. And when I call you, you don't sign. So keep your voice, otherwise the public will hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, some people complain about the hospital, where they want to put the hospital, yes, suitable, because they say people could make it there. Mr. Pierre, the amount of wasteland you have in this country to cultivate is more than what John could read about. You concern about 89 acre land, when you have hundreds, you have thousands acre land, uncultivated, abandoned in this country, and you talk about agriculture in this country? Where you could make agriculture in any part of Grenada? Mr. Pierre, tell this person to be careful with what he says. Mr. Pierre, you're speaking about the poor and vulnerable. I could tell you that as a fact. The worst government for the poor and vulnerable is the NMP government. For instance, the cooks in the school, Mr. Pierre, the NMP government worked there for 9.4 years for $500 a month, Mr. Pierre. That is wickedness, Mr. Pierre. That's first-class wickedness. The insurance scheme, Mr. Pierre, what the government proposed, I believe that will be the insurance scheme for the next 100 years in this country. Let me tell you why. When this insurance scheme come aboard, when he introduced, there will be no people going on this insurance, this pension scheme what they have today. Nobody will be going on it. Because the head prime minister said when it is introduced, there will be no more, everybody will be going on this pension scheme. So in other words, in the next 20 years, there will be one pension scheme in this country. Mr. Pierre, after when it's set up and done, they will be introducing the NIS and incorporating them together. So there will be one pension scheme in this country. There will be a pension scheme where you get 50% of your salary as pension, and one in the same pension scheme. The working government will get the same pension scheme benefit at the end of the year, retirement age. So, Mr. Pierre, I believe that's one of the best things ever come to the year, and I'm urging the government, I want to digest it as soon as possible. Because I don't want to continue paying a pension scheme for people. They're not contributing nothing to it, and they're getting more money than everybody else. No, that's wrong. I say everybody must contribute to the pension. So, you have a good day.
Thank you, caller. The number to call is 4420175. And the question I ask, are you concerned that there are mounting evidence and growing rumors that there is a third party dictating our foreign policy? Somebody is giving, a third party is giving Deacon Mitchell and the foreign minister instruction on what direction we should go. Are you concerned that government seems to be more interested in the sight of the general hospital than improving our health system? And we encourage political activists, politicos, and people who are close to the government to ask these questions. Because later on, you yourself might be taken aback and say you didn't know. We've been telling you, you know. For argument's sake, if we are right, are you not concerned? We have been consistent in the arguments that we advance. Why we believe there is a third party dictating our foreign policy. 50 years of independence. And it seems for the first time in 50 years, the Grenada government, the Prime Minister, and the Foreign Minister is taking instruction from a third party. Who is that third party? Who is giving the instruction? Who sent the Prime Minister? I know it's difficult for a lot of strong supporters of the NDC to understand that. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, when rain come and that river flood, I think he has in the and vehicle have to wait a while and such like for good water to go down. When they can put a building, they know what they think will go happen. And the road cannot raise higher than how it is. All right.
All right, thank you. The number to call is 4420175. You could introduce your own topic. Do you support the sale of Green Lake? our lone power company, our lone electricity company. You remember Tobias Clement voice in Parliament that if the National Democratic Congress win election, words to the effect, they will sell the electricity company. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, come in. Punch.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Do not forget that the Prime Minister made it clear to the nation that when you see strange decisions are being made, and strange meaning that is, it doesn't belong to the development of the people for sure. Ask who, you must always ask that question, who funded the campaign? The Prime Minister made it clear. So he has been acknowledging that somebody or some group or institution or whatever has great influence on the decisions that the government is making. He made it plain as to exactly who it is. That's what we need to find out. Now, early in the game, during the campaign, there was a statement being made by people that one investor in this country said that he will do anything to see the back of Kit Mitchell. He was associated with some hotel that was a controversial issue at the time. And he said he would do anything to make sure he see the back of Kit Mitchell. So maybe it's leading in that direction. But somebody for sure is influencing the policies to the extent that the Prime Minister acknowledged that when you see strange decisions are being made, ask who funded the campaign for the parties. He made it plain. Trace the words, trace the money, and you'll find out. Take care, sir.
Yes, the number to call is 442-0175, and you can call us and make your contribution. We are not responding to a caller previously. The democratic process provides for a government to be there for 5 years. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, caller, welcome.
Okay. Yesterday, he have a death in Marybo Hospital. A young girl died.
The radio in the back, please cut it off.
The radio?
Yeah, the radio or whatever device you have. Because it's ringing.
You hearing me now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. A young girl come by the doctor yesterday. The girl fell down inside inside where they know.
The waiting area.
And the girl died, you know. Although she bawling, nobody don't come. And the girl make the baby there and she died.
She make the baby in the waiting room?
Yeah. And she died.
And the child live?
Yeah.
Okay. So one has to hope and pray that this gift from God be strong and productive and positive in the country.
But what a find. The girl bawling for help.
But there was no help, not because she in the hospital means she will get help.
After she died, you seen those nurses and them running down, they coming with it. Yeah.
She make the child outside there and die.
Yeah.
When you pour, you expose, you know. And presently, the government have a hostile attitude against people in the low income group.
But when then he talking about NNP, dinner help, them that don't have the hospital help.
You see, they're not very sensitive to these calls.
No.
As far as they're concerned, these are the commoners.
You know, like?
Classless people. So you're going to have more of that. And the Prime Minister want to privatize the health system.
Yeah.
So it's going to even be worse.
And they're talking about when NNP was in power, he don't have help. No, they don't have help.
It's an important thing for people to understand What is the policy of a government?
A young girl just 36 years.
36 years. You will at least the baby live. That was good. Make the baby a no assistant.
But she bawling there for help.
Well, yes, she must be bleeding excessively and all
But
this.
none of them don't come.
Maybe they're busy.
Eh?
Perhaps they're busy.
Well, perhaps.
You're going to hear more tears shed. That is the present environment that we live in.
Yeah.
Where we speak of our people in a demeaning way, insulting manner. Commoners, classless, needy and greedy. All sorts of despicable utterances.
But Mr. Pierre, when NNP was in power, they say we don't know health care.
Yeah, well, they say that.
But them was.
And they say you're giving handout.
Yeah, well, them was.
And you're making people lazy because you're helping them too much.
Yeah, but them was.
Of course, they will be worse. The policy of the NDC is always more hostile towards people in the lower income group. Yeah. But the people have to understand that. The Imanis get tricked every 5 years. The NNP trick the Imani. The NDC, remember they promised to give them $1,000. Remember they tell them they like the children, they love them, and then they fire them.
Well, let me tell you that they calling down the Imani in song now in youth center.
Well, they must have something up their sleeve again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You see, that is where the term come out. A people deserve the government they have. Politicians are supposed to represent you. If you have people in the constituency that never make a day work, they can't help themselves, how they going to help you? If you have people in the community that don't know which end of the pitch to bat on, how are they going to help you? If the people that are claiming they want to represent you are greedy people that involve in all sorts of known acts of corruption, you have to be for one. Because based upon the people you choose, you are stuck with them for 5 years. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I just hear a woman call the radio station and accuse them not sending him.
Miss caller, she didn't do that.
Well,
No. You caller. Don't say what she didn't say. Don't say what she did not say. She said no one helped them. She said the woman was bawling for help and she did not get help. That is what she said. She didn't say the doctor didn't help her. She didn't say the nurse didn't help her. She said she was in the hospital area, she made a child there, and she died. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, Pierre.
Yes, my welcome.
And your listening audience.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, I have some question. Mr. Pierre, who increased the salary of the opposition leader, Mr. Pierre? Mr. Pierre, who increased minimum wage, Mr. Pierre? Mr. Pierre, who paid the restoration, the gratuity, Mr. Pierre, and pension, Mr. Pierre? Free tuition, Mr. Pierre, for secondary and tertiary. Mr. Pierre, people really can please Grenadian, you know.
Caller, you want me to answer you these questions?
Yeah, because this new government...
Caller, do you want me... You see, when you ask me questions, it's a dangerous thing, you know.
Yes, answer.
If you want me to ask you a question, when you ask, that's why I let you ask about 4.
Right.
So I could answer you now.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now, the NDC did that. I could even give you the view that they pay pension, they increase the minimum wage, they pay tuition for individuals. And that is what is deceiving about the National Democratic Congress. They lie to the Imani. They lie to the elderly. They remove money from the elderly, from disadvantaged children. They paid tuition for everybody. But tuition was already being paid for those who could not pay. And they take money from the disadvantaged. And as a result of that, there were children that had to drop out from school. The NDC refused to employ the part-time people at debushing. You see, this is what is deceiving about the National Democratic Congress. So you running around saying they pay tuition. But they paid tuition for those who could pay. Because those who couldn't pay, the government was paying for them. The government was also paying the bus and uniform for those who couldn't pay. And NDC remove it from them. That's why I say the NDC has done a lot. But for who? They do not seek the interests of the people in the lower income group. And it's an important thing for us to understand. And as we come to the end of the program, I'll make the last point. Now you have representative from the different constituency that's supposed to represent the interests of the constituency. Whether you is a prisoner, whether you is a vagrant, whether you is a thief, the representative in the constituency supposed to seek your interests. But those representatives have been ensnared. They have been entrapped and they are restrained by Dickens' policy. Economically, some of them have been buried in debt because of greed. And as a result of that, they cannot do justice to the people in the constituency, because if they cross Dickens, they would face bankruptcy. Why do I say that? A significant percentage of them get themselves ensnared economically in the GDB bank. The salary and money that has been given them end up like a means of restraint on them. They cannot function. They are the beck and call of people who are dictating or managing Dickens. And I still have the question and hope that someday members of the NDC would start to ask Dickens, who is the third party that dictating our foreign policy? And they would start to ask the GDB board to resign because you're just a rubber stamp. And we're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1. And you have another opportunity to ask questions and to punch. Thank you very much.